Welcome to today's show. My name is Spencer Walsh. Thank you so much for joining us here today. Got a great one for today, live with the first ever episode of For the Win, or the second ever episode. We're officially back here, and we got a great show for you today. We got Zach Lifschutz and Brandon Litwin, a double episode, but we're going to start things off with Brandon. He appeared on our, if you don't remember, he was on a year in review show talking about hip hop, but he's so talented. He's back here to talk about football. Brandon, thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you for having me.
All right, good to have you back. All right, a lot of stuff to get to with just two games. AFC and NFC East. It's the championship weekend, and no one does better, obviously, than For the Win. So we're starting off right. We'll show you the sports coverage that we can do here. We'll start with the AFC, and obviously kind of the old versus the new in that. We got Tom Brady and a very young Patriots team that's going to be taking on Kansas City Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes. And this is going to be, again, another big test of Brady's dynasty here, or the AFC control. Brady's control in the AFC East.
Yeah.
So, what are your thoughts about this game?
I think it's going to be very competitive. Here's the thing. I think this could be the Super Bowl if it wants to. I think this will be the best scenario out of any of the four teams that will be going against, even if it's the Patriots, Patriots, Saints, any of those matchups. I think this is the best one. So if you were to call this Super Bowl, I would too. Obviously, you got Patrick Mahomes, who's absolutely incredible, my MVP for sure, and then Tom Brady, who just gets to the championship every single year. So I think it's going to be a very up and back competitive game.
Yeah, and it's really tough because there's a lot of different kind of competing narratives about this. A lot of people are saying, actually, if you look at to take a quick look here at the ESPN favorability, Kansas City is favored by 66.8 to 33.2% here. So, Patriots according to ESPN's Football Power Index, but that's not always accurate especially with the Patriots. I definitely think there's a definite narrative that the Chiefs are like the young blood and the Patriots are just too far behind. They don't have their that same offensive line they do. But again, the Kansas City Chiefs, they're playing on a big stage here, young leader. So I mean, there's a lot of different questions, but I definitely think it's not going to be like last week when there's like just a really lopsided games. But this is going to be definitely for sure a close one.
Yeah, I believe it'll be very close. I don't know about that all winning percentage, 66.3. I think it's more in my mind like a 55-45 kind of matchup. I wouldn't expect it to be that far out.
Yeah, I would definitely say for sure. A lot of people, though, are hopping kind of on that Kansas City Chiefs bandwagon there, all because of Patrick Mahomes. And, yeah, that's something that really well could come crashing down. But I do agree with what you're saying here. Like, this could be one of the best games in terms of just like pure intensity and like the stakes so high.
Right.
Yeah, and it's just like
especially their last matchup, Week 6 in New England. That was an up and back battle. I think the Patriots won by 3. Both scored at least 40 points. I think it's gonna be a shootout again, even with the cold weather. I know it's supposed to snow, cold temperatures, but I don't think it's gonna have. I don't think the points will be under 20 at least for each time. I think they'll both score at least about 25, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's definitely. I think definitely the defenses are going to take a step up here in this one for sure. But the Patriots, they're definitely coming in hot. They finished off the season pretty well, and obviously they got past the Chargers pretty easily. But I think it's so clear that Bill Belichick's teams are just completely different. They're just completely different in the regular season. Like they're going to come out with things that in the playoffs that you haven't seen in years. You're like, wait, where'd that come from? So, that's the power of being like having a coach like Bill Belichick and a quarterback like Tom Brady.
You know when it comes down to the playoffs, Brady's been in the AFC Championship the last 8 seasons. You know they're a different team in the playoffs. You can't base their regular season as going to the playoffs. Like, they're not the same team, which they're not. I'm not saying they are, but their mentality and their goals are still the same, and they keep on winning. So it's like LeBron in the playoffs when he takes a team that may not be as good in the regular season and they turn around the playoffs. Same thing with Tom Brady and the New England Patriots. They seem to get there every single year, even with a disintegrated team. Not even to have the same team with the same guys, they still find a way to get there.
There's such a benefit of also being able to know how to win and being those tight situations. Like once you're there, you're not, like all the nerves are gone, and that really helps. I do think it's a big break though for the Chiefs that they're not playing in Foxborough though.
If it was in Foxborough, I think this game's already over. I'm going to be honest.
Interesting.
No disrespect to the Kansas City Chiefs. They're a phenomenal football team. But if this game's in Foxborough, I find it hard to believe that a young quarterback in his first year starting would win an AFC championship against Tom Brady in Foxborough. I find that hard to believe. So,
yeah, it's also, speaking of these Patriots, like, it's really incredible what they're able to do with, like, these guys. Again, we see it time and time again, year after year. These guys who, like, you don't even know. You got Sonny Michel is a big one as a running back.
Yeah, big year for him. I was very surprised. I mean, Georgie was phenomenal on his time there. I did not expect this production from the NFL for sure, having a big year.
Yeah, you got him. You got people like just people who you only would expect to do well on the Patriots. But and like that's the thing. That's one of those things you can never. Like, if the game gets close, you could always expect Bill Belichick to just come out and post something absolutely crazy out of the hat, and then they win the game. Yeah, so that's scheduled for 6:40. It's prediction time. Who you got in this one?
Here's what I'll say before. I think both teams, before the season started, halfway through the year, is kind of where I decided where I'd have these two teams. And I had both these teams in the AFC Championship. I think Patrick Mahomes and that offense is something that the NFL's never really seen. They've been incredible all season long. Especially at home, it's going to be a huge advantage. But I just think the pressure is going to be there. And I think when it comes down to these type of games, there's nobody that can really beat Brady in these situations. So I got the Patriots 33-30.
Yeah, I would have to say, I don't know if I'm going to go as far as like predict the score, but I would have to really kind of agree with you. I'd say it's going to be close. Chiefs are going to put up a fight. They're a talented team, but I mean, talent is very tough. And I think like if this were a situation that maybe the same team was playing like 2 or 3 years together, they really kind of meshed well. Then I think they'd have a lot more of it. Yeah, it'd definitely be a different story. But I'm saying Patriots kind of narrowly edged by, and then get crushed in the Super Bowl by my new favorite team, the New Orleans Saints. Speaking of which, New Orleans Saints, we're gonna go to them. It's gonna be a pretty interesting game. L.A. Rams, New Orleans Saints. So yeah, it's gonna be won either way by a coach named Sean. So go Ireland and Sean. What are your thoughts about this one?
Same, kind of similar to the AFC Championship game. Their first matchup earlier in the year was a up and back kind of matchup. I think it'll be the same. These two has had firepower offenses all season long. Drew Brees phenomenal with Kamara and Thomas, that whole offense, and Gurley, a definite MVP candidate with that great receiving core, and their secondary's been stepping up these past few games. Their run defense is a little inconsistent. But the past defense has come out with Aqib Talib coming back. But Saints and Rams have been playing good football all year. I think it's going to be a very competitive game.
Yeah, I think so. That's definitely very true. I mean, I don't know. We got people like, again, Drew Brees. He's one of the storylines here is Drew Brees. He's just absolutely been incredible for so long. And I don't think he gets, really a lot of the acknowledgement for it. But like, you got people. I mean, Sean Payton's been really guiding him very well, and Drew Brees making his, I think, what is it? How old is he? Like 39 or something like that?
Oh yeah, he's getting up there.
Yeah, so like seeing him back in the situation is definitely gonna be pretty cool. It's like last time there was like the Superdome, the hurricane, made like power outage, something like that. Some power outage, crazy thing like that. So seeing him back in this area is going to be very, very fun. But I think like the one crazy thing is the Saints were like talents like Thomas and Kamara. It's going to be a really kind of a talent fest because you got an incredible secondary on the Rams side and incredible secondary on Saints side, and just a lot of talent going around though.
Yeah.
But do you think this could come down to kind of a experience thing, or do you think how do you think the Rams and Sean McVay, who's been again one of the most like popular, well-respected coaches in the NFL, do you think they're going to be able to ready themselves for this game in time?
They will for sure be ready, but the one thing they have to do is, in my opinion, the way they have to win this game is run the ball down the Saints' throat, because their starting defensive tackle, Rankins, is out, and their defensive line is not used how it used to be. Jordan's coming off the edge, so he's not rushing the middle. So if you just have Gurley and Anderson just play like how they did last game, just run the ball a ton, I bet they'll get a lot of production out of that, and that'll kind of open up the passing game. That's how they're going to have to get their offense going. But if they start off throwing into that secondary that's so talented with Lattimore and all those guys, it's going to become a problem. So I think they need to have sort of a power run mentality coming into this game.
That'll be a very interesting thing to watch for. And I mean, I think they would definitely be able to kind of keep their head on, like Jared Goff. He's definitely a very well composed guy in this situation.
For sure.
Yeah, so that'll be something that
right.
like.
And Goff to me, he's been, when it comes down to the big moments, he's been up and down in terms of that. So I think Goff needs to step up big.
Yeah.
He needs to have a good game in order for them to win. It doesn't matter of how Gurley plays. It doesn't matter how the defense plays. I think you got to have their cornerback playing great, especially in this type of game with the Super Bowl.
I think that him off this kind of John Gruden coaching tree, I feel like he's like the Brad Stevens of the NFL in terms of like a really young coach, good with young guys.
Yeah.
And like, I mean, you don't see the Celtics doing too hot right now, so
yeah,
young coaches doing big things. So this is going to be again another kind of a test of the young versus the old, with Goff and McVay versus the timeless duo kind of.
Yeah, and we see that a lot today in the NFL. A lot of the young coaches really getting up there in the standings for their teams. I know a lot of guys. I'm a Bears fan, so Matt Nagy, he's a little bit on the younger side. Of experience coaching in the NFL. Bears came off a phenomenal year. Obviously, the Los Angeles Rams, great year. So many other teams I could think of, but the teams have been primarily doing well, besides some exceptions, have been primarily with the younger coaches, and Sean McVay is a clear example of that and how well the Rams are doing this year.
Yeah, that's definitely for sure. Rams really come back on the scene from they obviously took the move. They're obviously kind of viewed as one of those teams that would really like pull off like 2 or 3 amazing wins, like no one really expected them to each year, but now they're being taken as not much of a fluke, but actually like really a good team. And that's pretty cool to say. I do like to see that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But what are your predictions on this game here?
This game, I'm taking the Saints at home here. This game, I think another competitive game, another high-scoring game. No weather conditions because it's in a dome, obviously.
Yep.
But I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. I just think that Drew Brees has been done it time and time again in tough situations. Even last week, down 14-0, going into the second quarter, just came back, scored 20 unanswered, and won the game. I think it'll be the same here. I think the Saints have enough to beat the Rams again, and I think Brees can have another great game, and I think they're going to win it at home.
Yeah, I think again, so many really good weapons for the Saints and the Rams. Again, I could be like a little problem with the spirits. I haven't watched the Rams obviously too much this year. I am obviously, if you don't know, for those of you listening out there, I am a newfound fan of the New Orleans Saints. Go Saints, going all the way. They're going to win the Super Bowl for sure. I'm calling it right now here on the show. So yeah, obviously, I have them to win easily. Which game are you most excited for in this one?
I'd say the AFC Championship. Seeing those two guys, Mahomes versus Brady, is going to be absolutely incredible.
I would agree. It is like a good day would be a Saints win and an incredible New England KC game. Yeah. Lots to look forward to tomorrow. Thanks, Brandon, so much for kind of helping us all get ready for it. But before we go, we're about to go have Zach Lifschutz on, but he has come at your favorite artist, one of your favorite artists anyway, A Boogie with the hoodie. He is like, if you don't know, Brandon's like big fan of him, and he says that A Boogie has never made a complete solid album. More or less, that's what he said. I know I'm not doing our speech teacher proud with restating the point here, but yeah. So that's kind of what he more or less said. So what's your response? How are you going to defend A Boogie's discography?
All I gotta say what he said. Streaming rules. He's got the #1 album in the country right now. 2 straight